Hi guys, it's Ray from Ray's Turquoise Turtle. I am going to do today some of my Beachspcapes, but I'm doing them in a 3-inch hoop to make into ornaments. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I already have my resin mixed up. I leveled everything. So I'm going to mix my colors quick. I use alcohol inks for these. These cups I've used to like dry things on the back. The insides are clean, so I'm just going to go with those. I may have mixed too much ink or too much resin, but we'll find out. So I'm just going to split it up between some cups for some different colors. And these are going to get some fun embeds. To prep for these, I spray painted these hoops. Sometimes I hand paint them, but because I'm doing 20 of them, and you have two parts, the outer ring and the inner ring, obviously, it's just a lot of work to hand paint them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'll need one for a little bit of white. Okay. So, I put them on a silicone mat and I run a bead of hot glue to seal them to the mat. So that's all I did there. So I'm going to do some brown. Sometimes the brown turns greenish, but I'm going to mix a couple of different browns actually. For the white, I'm going to use the Alumilite White Opaque. And I'm going to give it just a tiny bit of the Pinata white. Ink. So that's it for that. I'm going to do some aqua. And I don't want to overly saturate these colors because I do want some light to shine through. This one is Glacier. This one is Cobalt. This will be my darkest. This one is Laguna. And I have one blue that's a homemade that may end up overlapping, but we'll find out. So that's going to be it. Put a stick in each one so I can mix them. So I'm going to mix them up and move them out of the way as I mix. And I'm okay if there's little swirls of color in there because what they're being used for, it'll be fine. As I mix them, I'm kind of going to set them down like darkest to light. So I'm just gonna set them right here. That one, that one. This one, this one. Sorry, I'm zoomed in pretty tight, so I have to get used to staying more centered. That'll be my lightest, and then my brown for the bottom. And the brown looks like it's going to stay brown, so that's a good thing. And then I'm going to mix the white. Okay. So I'm just going to start by pouring some in. I'm going to do a tiny bit of brown on the bottom of each one. I could fit 8 of these on the board that I decided to work on, so I'll be working in 8. I do have a little bit of clear left. I may have to mix some brown up. To get up over the ink when I get to that point. Or to get up over the hot glue line. I'm just going to switch gloves real quick. So, I'm going to go with the darkest blue towards the top. I did get a little brown towards the top of a couple of these, but it'll be okay. It's hard to see what they're going to look like when they're on the colored silicone mat. So I'm just going to mix that brown in. It's going to make this blue a little bit greener, but that's fine. Just hope I mixed enough resin to actually fill them completely. Not completely, but enough. They don't have to be filled completely. It's okay if they have a little bit of a lip. And I do have a little bit extra mixed that I can fill with, so they just have to get filled enough that they're above the glue line. That's the critical part. So I'm going to mix up some more brown and some more of the darkest blue, the cobalt, to start. That might be too much brown, but I may go a little heavier handed with the ink that time. I'm trying to keep these cups upright so they don't drip all over my surface. Mix it up quick. Mix it up quick. I really should have a glove on both hands. I don't want too much to drip on the hoops because they're a little bit harder to clean up than some things can be. And I can see where I didn't quite get a seal on one of these. but it's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just going to drip out a little bit, and I'll push the extra off the back when I get to that point of peeling them off the mat. Okay. I'm going to finish up the rest of my clear with the dark again. Oops. I just spilled over that side, so I'll clean that up in a minute. Get that stick out of there and just use my finger to wipe it off. Would work better. So, they're getting pretty good. This one here needs a little more, this one needs some more, and that one definitely needs some more. So, just gonna mix up another blue, grab whichever. Might mix a couple colors. I mixed by weight this time. I mixed about 7 ounces total. So I'm kind of keeping track of that because I do have 10 more of these to do after this set. So and the reason I'm not too worried about the little mess I made there is other than this very bit at the top, this side gets covered by the outer hoop, so you can't see it. So I'm not real concerned about it. So that's it for that step. I'll switch gloves and wipe my hands off quick. And I'm going to drizzle in the white. This isn't a big Beachscape, so it's not going to get a ton of the white. The white's going to kind of sink in because it's not sat. So it's not thickened up at all. I don't really want to put a lot of heat to these, so I think I'm going to try my little alcohol ink blower tool. This little jobber, maybe not that hard, to kind of mix the white a little bit. Okay, that's not going to work. So I'm just going to hit them each with the heat gun real quick. Okay, so that is it for that. I'm not going to add any more white. I knew I mixed way too much up, but it'll be alright. So this is the fun part. This is the part where I embed things. I'm going to sprinkle a tiny bit of, this is actual beach sand, on the bottom of each one. Trying to keep it to the sandy part. Just gives it a little texture and character. Okay, so I have some little resin shapes made that I might use, and I have some silver charms, some seashells. So I'm going to start with some shells. I'm just going to set them on. I do have some sand dollars. I don't always love the way the sand dollars come out in resin, but I may use a couple. Just to try these ones. And I'm not going to do a ton of shells on these ones because they are smaller. I may go back when I'm done with this part and sprinkle some more sand in, just for a little more visual interest. I also have a little bit of blue and a little bit of green, like faux beach glass, that I'll sprinkle a couple on each. This one is leaking, but it'll be okay. It should seal itself before too much flows out. And like I said, I just snip that off at the end. It's not a big deal. Now, I don't think I'm going to, but if you wanted to, when you have a dried flat surface, you could put a little vinyl Merry Christmas or something on here. I don't really think I want to use a mermaid tail. Just not feeling it. Although this one's kind of a cute one, so I may put that one on here. So that one I'll call done, because that'll be plenty for that. I have little seahorses, charms. Yep, see, the problem with this is going to be, I'm gonna have to fish that back out. These really need to sit and cure a bit before they can get the bigger embed, or the smaller embeds. So I'm just gonna do the little sea turtle on one, because this is thick enough that it won't sink and disappear. And I'm gonna do a sea turtle on this one. So I'm going to let these cure for a bit, and then I'll come back in and do a couple with little charms and things. I have a little anchor. Things like that. Oh. But I have these little tiny sand dollars, so I think I might sneak one of them in. Just one or two of them. Alright, so that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Give me a like and subscribe, and go ahead and give these a try. It's a fairly inexpensive, simple gift.